Hey guys, Mr. T here. I just got out of Panda Express eating my lunch/dinner. I was student teaching all day. Today was Friday, so I could, wear my regular shirts, my old high school shirt. And I thought, what better place to do a Mobile America video than here? Now, I thought, let's mix things up a little, and I figured today I'm gonna do a Mobile America video on the election of 1800. Now, if you're a history teacher, you can understand why I'm doing this. If you're not a history teacher or history nerd like me, then you're probably thinking, why this specific election? Well, I'm gonna tell you. The reason I'm picking this specific election is for several reasons. The first off, actually the main reason is this election caused the first ever transfer of power in America, and it was the first ever peaceful transfer of power in almost all of history, and I'll get to that why. So, first off, the basics. The election of 1800 for the United States presidency was against John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, okay? John Adams, okay, I'm sure you probably heard of these guys. John Adams was our president at the time. He won the election in the election of 1796, okay? During his presidency, he didn't, some shady things, XYZ affairs, Alien and Sedition Acts, didn't have the best presidency ever. So, he wasn't doing that good going into the election of 1800. Thomas Jefferson, writer of the Declaration of Independence, founding father, first Secretary of State, all these things, the second ever vice president, things like that. So we have John Adams, current president, and Thomas Jefferson, the current vice president at the time, running against each other. And they end up running, and in the election of 1800, Thomas Jefferson ended up winning. Now, this is key. This is what makes the election of 1800 an important topic. Thomas Jefferson was a Democratic Republican, okay? At the time, Democratic Republicans, which is today the modern day Democratic Party, they hated a strong federal government. So like the federal government, like Congress, the president, they hated that being a strong and powerful. They were all for states' rights, which means the state governments, like your local state government, had more power than the federal government. That's what they wanted. John Adams was a federalist. They were the complete opposite. They wanted the federal government to have all the power and the state governments to be kind of smaller, weaker entities underneath the federal government. While George Washington, the president before John Adams, he technically didn't have a political party, he still favored a more strong federal government. So, the two presidents we've had so far were federalists, or, they favored a strong federal government. Thomas Jefferson, the now new coming guy who's coming into the presidency, he didn't. So we have this transfer of power from a strong federal government to a weak federal government. And the transfer of power, and this is the key, was peaceful. Okay? There wasn't bloodshed, there wasn't violence. One person, people weren't cutting people's heads off. And this was unheard of. All throughout history, when you have a government, an entire government change the way they work, for lack of a better term, there was bloodshed and wars and all these things. This transfer of power was 100% peaceful. Now, I'm sure, people might have said some bad curse words and things like that, but no one was getting their head chopped off. No one was getting, there was no bloodshed. It was peaceful. And that's what makes this such a major deal, is because this was unheard of in world history at the time. Okay? So, election of 1800, we go from a federalist or strong central government type of political party to one who is all for weaker federal government, okay? And the transfer of power was peaceful. That's what makes it so important. So, that was the election of 1800, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around for more Mobile America. If you want more elections, just ask me and I'll research the different elections. So, stay beautiful, Americans. Stick around for another Mobile America. Mr. T out. Peace.